create that kind of a life to my wife that she doesn't need to think about financially at all. Like if she wants to go to work, she can go to work, but she doesn't need to go to work. That's like the ideology I want to push on that one. So, and we discuss about it openly. Everything we discuss, like try to see what we do. Of course, we now see like right now it's not going to be completely possible. We need to do some changes in our lives or figure out something to be able to do it. To be in the situation that with one salary it's enough. We get everything we need. So that is the thing that still needs to kind of like need to, you know, like go around a little bit, ideas and things to see, because you know you never know. In the future, maybe something will, you know, catch up and things just gonna change a little bit differently. Maybe we're gonna get a situation that we actually our overall income will just reduce, which means that actually then it's a must thing that my wife also has to work. She doesn't have any other option than has to. But I think like usually this thing that in a woman is not allowed to be a housewife, it's a negative thing, is that, you know, government is really loving it that if nobody wants to stay housewife, because then they mean like they get more workers available to do their jobs. But yeah, that's just a lot of things. There's just a lot of things. Of course, like financially speaking, it's smarter that both of you work because of how the tax system works. Because now if let's say progressive tax, the negative impact is definitely the fact that you have to work like more. If you want to work more to earn more money, you really have to work more. Like let's say both of you have the same salary, both of you work 40 hours a month, and then now you decide like, oh, only one of you will be working and then getting the same amount of money. Salary is going to be the same, but the income should be the same. So now in reality it means one of you need to work not just 80 hours, like 40 plus 40 hours. No, actually you should be working 100 hours a week to be able to reach the same level. So, you know, you get what I mean. So basically overall work hour amount will be like 20 hours more. So you can reach the same income after tax. And that's very bad overall, the system. So the system alone is kind of like inviting it that you should work. Both of you should have a career, should work. No, don't have kids at all. No, that's bad. That's always the thing. Government always pushing, or the society always pushing, like, actually you should not have kids. No, you should not have kids. And then they're like, okay, all right. And then they wonder like, what's the problem? Why people not having kids? It's so messed up, the whole society studies and everything. And then we have gone so wrong direction so many times already that I don't think there's a possibility to come out of it anymore. But anyway, we are doing our things, and our things is we are trying to be in a situation that, you know, my wife, if she wants to be a housewife, she can be a housewife if she wants to. But yeah, it requires certain steps to be achieved first before we can get there. But, you know, it's good to have goals. It's good to have goals. Very much good to have goals. Wait, what? With faction evenly matched, it is impossible to determine the winner. I mean, if that's the war of roses or something, yeah, definitely nobody's gonna be winning if nobody's able to connect. Definitely it's gonna be evenly matched. Yeah, I don't know anything about the war of roses at all. Don't know if anybody's really doing it. That's another thing also. But the societies are weird nowadays. It's really it's really not a good thing. And people always blaming others. Nobody ever can say like, oh, yeah, I think might be our issues or our problem that caused these problems, our mistakes. You know. There's a different kind of things, and always all the research are always very one-sided. That's another thing too. They always all these like not like research or studies, but this kind of like consensus of this kind of a thing. You know, like they ask a group of people their opinion about something and that stuff like that. Those are so fake. Those are so easy to make it the way you want it to be. And then of course now people are gonna do it so that whatever they're gonna do it like calculated. Like let's say there's a survey and they want to check like how many people think drugs are a problem. So if you know if you know already, like back before you release or even start the whole study, you already know that if this study might lead to that, okay, like let's say 50% of the people think that there's a drug problem in the country. If they reach that 50%, it means high chances are that it will mean more funding on your projects, whatever you're doing. So you are definitely going to ask it in a way that increases the percentage, even though the reality might be something else. But like I said, this is just an example. Not that I'm saying that they are really doing on the exact topic, but they can easily, all these surveys, you can easily make them look the way you want. I mean, now look, even the elections, I think like most of the sites were saying like, oh, Harris is gonna win the USA elections. The Harris is gonna win with even like a noticeable difference. At least all the major players, all these kind of like places that would have benefited a lot more from that, they were saying like, oh, Kamala Harris is gonna be winning based on the surveys people have been giving. And they were so wrong about it. So, there was that's an example of, like, you can make it look the way you want it if you can gain out of it something. Because even that one probably could have, they thought like, okay, now if Kamala really is gonna, releasing this kind of a statements, it's gonna boost up Kamala's campaign even more. So it will, and it will lead to the situation that people who are not Kamala Harris's supporters, they will not even go vote because they're like, I mean, it's already looking like she's gonna win or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, weird things. The mindsets can be very weird, even though I somehow feel like if the survey is saying Kamala is most likely going to be a president, I think that's gonna have an impact that people who don't want her to be a president will now start and going for voting. So I think like a lot of these places that they thought it's gonna have this impact, but it had completely opposite impact. so yeah, that's the thing that was forgotten there. That's the thing they really forgot. But yeah, like I say, the surveys can be really changed the way they want it to be, and then it can help you a lot of the funding, because a lot of these research places, they get a lot of fundings from the governments and stuff like that, or organizations. So they are actually not doing any proper scientific checks or anything. They just do something that they can guarantee that there will be more money for 10 more years for their studies or their researches and stuff like that. Because it's a really, really limited resources. Competition is tight. Like, where is the funds gonna go? What kind of research is gonna get enough funds to continue for years and years? So, everybody is free for all kind of a thing. It's a free for all kind of a thing. So people are really, really pushing their own agendas on all their own things just to get the funding. And imagine even this topic, even the thing, everything came up revolving around money. Surprise! Everything is always going to be revolving around money. This money is an evil thing, because everybody's doing anything to gain what they want. I mean, now look, even drug lords and all these, they're just doing that so they can get more money. There's nothing else they really want to do it. It's not like, oh, I want to be a drug lord because, it's fun. Okay, let's be honest. There might be some people also who are just, that kind of like a crazy people, and they just do it because of the, it's the the excitement and, you know, power. Not even the money, just the power. People fearing you, something like that. But overall, everything started because they wanted the money. They saw that there was a possibility to good money, and they executed it. And then that's where things are going. Money, money, money. So even with funding, of certain kind of funding, that's everything. And you do everything you can to keep the funding going, because that means you have a livelihood. You can live. Actually, you can live with a kind of lavish life sometimes. With this, because of the funding you're gonna be getting. So there is those things. There are those things, and it has always a big impact with a lot of things. But money, money, money. You can't go away from that. You can't avoid it. Money is all about. It's all about money. The reason why those wars, what are happened. Anyway, most of the time when the wars are happening, the reason has been either two options: money or power. Like, let's be honest, most of these wars that is currently going globally, most of those wars, they would end up if people would not be, if they really would want to have peace. But no, it's not about that. They want that power and money. Like what is the thing that is good for the business? Or, yeah, okay, couple things is good for the business. One, war, for like the business of munition, you know, guns, all the equipments. Nowadays is a lot of about drones are a big thing. But what is another thing that is good for that kind of a business? A war that is looming around but hasn't started. So people are preparing a war. So they're investing a lot more money. I mean, they're investing actually as much as money as possible. But when war is happening also, that's good for that business. So yeah, that's a good example. And there also, like, then the contracts of rebuilding, those are existing also. There's a reason also, like when, you know, like the war, I mean the Afghan and Iraq war happened. It's a reason, like a lot of certain companies, they started to get a lot of money for rebuilding stuff and stuff. So there's always that too, you know, like it's always good for business. Certain things are very good. Certain, like a war can be very good for certain businesses. Sure, a lot of other businesses are suffering, but the ones who really are gaining out of it, they are really making everything they can not to stop it. Like, imagine how much money like the Ukraine-Russian war has made for some people and some companies. Think about it. The amount of money and the equipments and everything every country has sent to Ukraine and stuff, and also Russian, however they have their own productions and all that. All that is just money for some rich people's pocket. That's also the reason also, like most of the wars nowadays, it's not even anything to do about the persons living and they gaining, you know, protecting their independence. You know, it's usually something else. Somebody is gaining something somewhere, and you're just a pawn for sacrifice. While the people who are going to enjoy their life, their lavish life, they just live without any worries. They don't even care that somebody died because of that. They don't care because they get the money. They actually make a calculation, like what is the value of a person, like how valuable that person is. Let's assume you put that person full gear on the person. How much money is that? How much profit you can make out of that? And then you lavish life. That's just how it is. And all this talk about also like world peace, or how you know, you just invest this kind of money and the world hunger will end and all that. That's another thing that, yes, actually ending starvation globally is easily accessible, easily possible. But why doesn't it happen? Because nobody's benefiting anything out of it. And instead, it's just postponing the inevitable events that, you know, just the even worse starvation is bound to happen and stuff like that. That's also the thing. But the mostly the thing is that nobody is going to benefit if they you know, like, get rid of starvation. Nobody's going to benefit it. Nobody's going to benefit by doing it. These charity companies are always going to benefit, of course, and they're always doing it. The charity companies are benefiting probably the most through the starvation, because they are getting the salary and the funding and all that with the donations. And they can never get rid of the whole what is it? The starvation. Because they are so busy calculating, okay, how big bonuses I'm gonna get, how much more money I'm gonna be getting through this, you know, this. So even they are like, even like all the money that people would put in the all these charities, if all that money that they are receiving 100% would go for their cause, all the problems would have been solved a long time ago. That's another thing. Another legal scam is charity work. Charity, I mean the donation stuff. That's actually that's like one of the biggest legal scam happening globally. They're doing that, and then like, okay, yes, they're gonna help handful of people, but the ones who are really saying like, oh, thank you for the donation, is the one who are working for those companies, organizations, because they are getting salary, they're getting paid for that. It has ended as of now, and participants will receive. Wait, what? What is it? The issue has been resolved, and Odolita 1 is now accessible again. Regarding the War of Roses, it has ended as of now, and participants will receive a compensation with the next maintenance. Oh, I should have a next maintenance. FU. We will do. Oh, somebody seems to be very salty. Somebody seems to be very salty, or just ironic, just doing it for the memes. But yeah, I personally have never. I can't say I have never put anything on charity, and most likely I will never put anything, because of the idea is very nice, but unfortunately most of those places have become so corrupt, so rotten, that it's not right. It's not even right in any way. And like most of the people probably who are like working for the charity organizations or doing charity work, I think they in deep down they might think like, oh, it's a good thing they're doing, but probably a lot of times I have met people that they are actually very like, they like showing off a lot that they did a lot of charity work. They went to some country and they helped people there and stuff like that, and then the same thing they're advertising when they're now applying to be a CEO for some company, that, oh, they have done this kind of like non-organization charity work, and they did a lot of good stuff, they helped it. Now it looks very nice on CV. It looks very nice on CV. Like, okay, like, think about it. How many of these companies, when they see like, oh, you did charity work and you're gonna be a face of the company, like you're gonna be also the PR for the company, because your face is gonna be there, and then if your CV says that you have done 2 to 5 years charity work somewhere, helping people, and then now you're advertising it like your company is doing the same, your company, you are CEO, doing the same. Trust me, there's so many people doing these things just for their personal gain, not necessarily that they really want to help. Because if they would do that, they would not even. I always think like, people, if they really want to do charity and they don't want to gain anything out of that, they would not say anything about it. Like anonymous donations, those are the ones that are people who truly think that this could help somebody. and they don't want to gain anything out of it. But when they're like celebrities, they do these kind of like a charities, and they say like, oh, they donated X amount of money and stuff like that. And then you like wonder like, why do you have to flex? Why do you have to really say it out loud? Like, what is it? Like, you kind of like making your image look better or something like that. I always get that feeling. They're just doing that. Because I actually know some like Finnish athletes that they are actually doing, they're doing a lot of charity work in a way that they're not even telling that they are doing, you know? It's just that if you really, really start looking into the companies that is doing the, because some things like donations you can't do anonymously. So there is like we have one F1 driver, ex F1 driver. He never says anything about charity and stuff like that. But there was some, like somebody saw that there was a quite a major donation to charity and stuff like that under a certain company. And then somebody who was kind of bored, kind of like idle, started to look more into the details of the company, and then realized like actually the person who gave the money for this charity was none other than the F1 driver, Finnish F1 driver, but he never said a single word that he has donated money. And that's how you should be doing. But now look, celebrities or influencers, or even in Twitch streams, there's a lot of like saying like, oh, this stream is going to, all the money is going to go for the charity and stuff like that. And it's always like, yeah, you kind of like boosting it that so you get more like a viewership kind of thing, but oh, you know, seeing. I just get that feeling always. Although some of the depends on the charity though, because if I now think about it, most of the Twitch streams charities, for example, like a lot of them go to the children's hospital thing. Now that's a kind of like different, because now that's directly going for the use of, you know. Now there is, of course, I know there's also people who are going to take money between. Like the bosses of the hospital, they're gonna take some money that is not supposed to be on their pocket. But yeah, anyway, these kind of things, that's fine. That's fine, because then again, also like if you don't tell where your charity, if you're just saying that this is for charity, it's a little bit fishy. Like, oh, where are you gonna put it, and how can we say that you really put the money there that we donate here? Also like a little bit different stuff, but overly speaking, if you're just like a celebrity and you just like at some point you just made a post like, oh, I donated 100 million for this charity. Okay, and then maybe if somebody start looking more in details, and then they see like actually this charity organization is run by one of his or her family member. Imagine that. Oh, I made a charity for this organization, and then the ones who are running the charity is just the family member, which means that probably most of the money they donated is just gonna go to their pocket. And in other words, they're just doing like money laundering or something. Because isn't like some countries have this thing, if you donate certain amount of money for certain purposes, you get tax refunds or tax reliefs. So like even in Finland, if you donate money for certain kind of stuff, you get actually reduced taxes, which is, yeah, it's very, very weird and wrong in my opinion. But hey, I don't make the rules. I'm just not in a situation I can use those rules. So, but yeah, there's weird kind of stuff going on. There's a lot of weird stuff going on around charities. The ideas are very beautiful and nice that, you know, you want to help somebody, but unfortunately, how many of those things are really happening? Like also, I noticed that thing like I hear, is it like just after the summer, there's always gonna be like a lot of charity events going on before the winter comes and all that. And then I always wonder, like, really, like, how much of this money really goes to the right place? And then the fact that all of them are checking the same time. I remember I was watching just the regular TV, which I don't usually watch. I was looking, and I saw that it was like It was like an like a commercial break, and during that commercial break, they put 6 different charity advertisement. Basically, the commercial break only had charity advertisements. Only. Nothing else. And that point, I was like, yeah, this is not right. The way that you also have to use money to advertise the charity, it just doesn't feel right either. Because it's kind of like you're trying to gain more. And what purpose you're trying to gain more? That's another question. It's just, for me personally, it's just so fishy a lot of times. I wish if I could, do charity work or, like donate, I wish I could just put the money straight where I want to be. That nobody will touch it between. No middlemen. No middlemen. I mean, the same way I wish I could just buy all the milk, eggs and all that straight from the farmers, but a lot of times it's not possible to do it like without having a lot of inconvenience for even the farmer. But I wish I could have that possibility. And all the stuff I buy, I wish I could just buy straight from the person who makes them. Like the first, like if it's a farmer, any farm products, I wish I could get them straight from the farmer. So there's no middle people. Because imagine like how many middle people there is with a 1 liter of milk, 1 bottle of milk. So first the farmer will be milking the cow. Now this milk will be transported in this kind of like a container truck to somewhere where it's going to be collected, like more bigger amounts, and then from there it's going to be delivered for the milk process plant, and then after that it goes to some sort of like warehousing system. Maybe they're all the milk production companies, or maybe the shops warehouse and all that, and then from there it reaches the shop. So imagine how many middlemen you have there. And all of them are taking piece. All of them taking a small piece for themselves. That's like what, 4 different entities before the milk reaches from the farm to the consumer. Just for the purpose of getting the milk to the customer. So yeah, there's that mismatch kind of a thing happening. That it would be nice to have as little possible middlemen as possible, but it's not. In reality, it's not really possible. Unless, because it's not usually profitable for the farmers like that way. Because, you need to have constantly, the products are constantly coming, but people are not using anymore constantly the same product. Like, let's say, like, probably like 30, 40, 50 years ago, it was probably easy because the options were not that vast. Like, let's say it was common, most of the households were constantly drinking milk the same way, the routines were the same, but nowadays, no, everything is now replaced, and everybody's always saying, look, milks are bad, the eggs are bad, the meat is bad. And then instead they just say, oh, the wheat is not bad, wheat is good for you, which is actually a product that you're not constantly getting through in the farm. So also you see the pattern there. The items that is usually like, like easily rotten, like easily spoiling, and they're constantly coming.